I got a lot of y'all in my inbox. Most of the time because people want to, talk to the boy. But I got a lot of y'all inbox, saying, "Hey, Chris, your friends, your co-hosts, your people are picking bad movies. When are you going to pick a movie and save us from this nonsense?" And I was like, you know what? Stay tuned. I got it right after this for you. Now, I'm not a big fan of Los Angeles, so normally I wouldn't care if some aliens came and just like smash the city into pieces. But this was it. This is exactly how you want to see things. This was an alien movie, and I said, "Go, Chris, pick this movie and show them what a movie picks like." And let me bring in the two jabrones that actually pick some bad movies. And I'll start with the person who picked the worst one, and that's this guy right here who put some daggone movie where they didn't figure out what kind of nerd they wanted to be. Next, Doctor.
Well. You're welcome. You're welcome. And I will say that, for once, sometimes you do have some questionable picks. But, for once, you did pick something that's of some quality. So, good job there.
I don't know how to take that.
That's what she said.
Wow. Let's go ahead and put in private and from what I see on my Instagram Reels the last 24 hours, the most popular initial out there, and that is Private J.
Hello, my ninjas. Hello, my ninjas. Now listen.
Really?
You can't say ninjas on this platform now?
I mean, what's up? How you feeling?
Ninja, I'm good. Look. Chris picked Battle Los Angeles. Now, you don't know this, ladies and gentlemen, but every time Chris picks a movie, I'm tempted to just automatically give it a thumbs down. Why? Because I hate him. Why? Because it's funny to me. Have I seen the movie? Do I like the movie? It doesn't matter. If he picks it, I want to give it a thumbs down. If Mike Knox, I hope you're watching. I don't know what you picked for Thursday, the last couple of Thursdays. But from me to you, it's always been a thumbs down, no matter what. It's always going to be a thumbs down. No, I'm joking. Mike picks good movies. Vic, I can't say the same about you. I can't even say you watch movies, but shout out to you in your new role at UPRE.
He doesn't have a new role. Vic picked The Social Network. So what did...
that was a good movie. Vic, did you watch it?
The Book of Eli. The Book of Eli was Mike Knox's pick.
Eli?
The Book of Eli.
Oh, that's a good movie. That's a very good movie. Mike, see, this is why I love to hate, because you pick good movies, so I'm joking when I say it's a thumbs down. Anyway, Battle Los Angeles. I've never been to LA. I hear it's smoggy. And people eat avocado toast. That's the only thing I know about it. Monday, perhaps I'll get there on Spirit because I'm not paying a lot of money to go to LA. Look.
Are you going to make it?
Did I like this movie? Did it? Don't hate on Spirit. I have they sponsor the show, sir. Okay. We'll be playing the commercial later. Did I like this movie? Are there any good scenes in this movie? Find out later. That was my little teaser.
The executive consultant, this is your pick. Do you want to start us off?
Yeah, I'm going to start by telling you what happened. So basically, a whole bunch of aliens decided they want to come and they want to take the resources. Where have I heard this before? So they decided they want to go to different coastal cities and they attack Los Angeles. Los Angeles was trying to fight back. They failed. But a small battalion of troops decided that they wanted to see what they can do about getting these citizens, these civilians out, getting ambushed. Long story short, they fight, they win, they fight some more, they win, they fight some more. All led by Harvey
Scratchy Show.
All fought hard and led by somewhat Two-Face, who's going through a what? All I'm saying is in this movie, he definitely was trying to die a hero or live long enough to see himself come in. Because anybody else feel like he had a suicide mission going on, like he wanted to die. Like, that's all it seems like. Every time you like look ninja, right? That's how I look at it. Like, okay, hey, you made it out that police station. Oh, we need to go across this bridge in broad daylight so everybody can see us. Okay, y'all made it back to this daggone base, even though it's destroyed, but nobody's coming back there. Okay, we need to go back all the way out. You see that thing right there in the center? Let's go attack it. Right?
What he say? Make it to the center. Above the ground 20 feet.
Right. They make it to the center. They get on a helicopter. He says, "Oh, I think that's the base of operations. Let's go down there. We can't land. Give me 20 feet. I think he is wrong. I want to go down to my death." They get in the center. He says, "I want to go back up top to let everybody know I was the one that tried to bomb this thing. I'm going to sit here. I'm gonna let you 4 people right shoot around me, and I'm gonna paint this thing so the missiles can hit it. Missiles hit it. All right, y'all can go back to the base. Have some breakfast. All right, have breakfast. I hear there's still some fight out there. Look here, Punisher. I don't know what's going on, but you caused so many deaths in that movie because all these people were blindly following you throughout this movie because they had no idea that you just wanted to die. That's why. You just wanted to die, and I don't know why. Because one thing I can definitely say is about Harvey Dent. I truly mean this. He was not like a little at all.
What do y'all? You know, I can't say that Chris is wrong in what he said. It's logical, and arguably, I never even looked at it that he had PTSD. All joking aside, and Rashad, you stop me right now if you want to go first, but. All joking aside, the movie is layered. You know, I love that. My nipples get hard like diamonds when it's layered, okay? I love it. I was cutting my shirts left and right watching this film, okay? There's honor in this movie. No, listen, you got to know the truth. There's honor in this movie. There's sacrifice. There's the over-the-top action. Shout out to the strongest knees in the game. As Chris says, goes to Harvey Dent, the strongest knees in the game, because it starts the movie off icing them, but he's running like crazy. He's jumping 20 feet. Ninja, I don't have 10 feet in me. You remember that pad that you used to jump on in elementary school when you did your little tumbling or whatever? Mm-hmm. I don't. If it's not that, I don't got 10 feet in me. My knees are the soles of my feet after a shift are gonna be singing. Okay, he's jumping 10 feet in army boots that I know are torn through. His socks got to be sweaty. The feet got to be sliding left and right in those socks. Shout out to them wherever he got them. Okay, I need to get a pair. Okay, he's running left and right. He's setting off bombs. But I will highlight this, and I don't want to joke about it too much. I know we're having fun because it is serious, and I know kind of a serious moment right now. All respect to soldiers, whether they have seen tours of duty and seen action, as they might say, or not. I respect it because, not to be political, the U.S. is always fighting somebody, okay? And I don't care what, nobody's throwing sticks and stones. They're shooting bullets, and people come back, whether they've got hit by them or not, dealing with a lot of things. And there's a scene in this movie, Chris alluded to it, when he throws the grenade at the alien ship, and he comes back, and all the other soldiers who are like privates, you know, they're in awe of him because they've heard that he's done heroic things before, but they've never served underneath him, and he's their sergeant, okay? And even the lieutenant who's in charge, he is in awe of the guy because he knows what he's done, and this is his first command. But Aaron Eckhart, his character, Sergeant Nance, his hand is shaking uncontrollably. He's like terrified. And when Chris said, you know, that he wants to die, arguably that's true because as we see play out, and again, as I talk about growth and self-reflection in movies that I like, he talks about how he remembers every single man under his command. And I say man as, you know, soldier under his command, and he names them off. He even knows their serial numbers, right? And that stays with them. And I'll never joke about this. I love honor in movies. You know, I cry watching romance movies because it never ends. But in war movies, I cry because of honor. And I absolutely love that. And I, you know, this movie had so much honor in it. It's action, of course, you suspend the disbelief for the aliens attacking, but it has a lot of real elements in it, and I loved it. And another one that I just really have to highlight, after they make it back to the base, and they look like I'm going to compare it to a scene. If you ever seen Full Metal Jacket, at the end of that movie, after, I don't want to give away the ending of that movie, but after they've done what they've done, and throughout the whole throughout halfway through the movie, they talk about a stare, that 1,000-yard stare that soldiers have, and they all inevitably get it. And that one soldier, Private Joker, he didn't have it, and at the end of the movie, you see it, and it's undeniable. And they have that 1,000-yard stare. These kids, really, they have it, and they are hungry. You can tell that they're tired, they're exhausted. And when they finally figure out how to, spoiler alert, possibly fight back against this army, they go right back out there. They don't want to, but they do it. And, I don't want this to sound jingoistic, but I think that has to be respected above a lot of other things. And I don't think enough credit is due. And I really did like that they had that in the movie. Doctor, I'll let you take over.
I didn't see it as a death wish. I've seen this movie a lot of times, alluding to, what I think of this movie. But I have seen this movie a lot of times, and each time I just saw it as someone, Aaron Eckhart's character, as someone who, he said it when he was, trying to get out. He was like, he wants to get out. That was the thing. He wants to get out. But you see at the beginning of the movie, he's still doing what he needs to do as a soldier. He's still, working out. But he gets to the point, he's like, yeah, it's time for me to, it's time for me to go. It's my shelf life. I'm over. But as he even gets the papers, he's like, this is my whole life. The military was his life. Even though he wanted to get out, he didn't know anything else. And you kind of see that through the rest of the movie as well. When he's dealing with Hector, he's trying to, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, he's trying to console him in the best way he can, but he's a soldier. Only thing he knows is to put it into terms that a soldier, would understand. So even in trying to console, he's looking to that woman that's there, doesn't have kids well, but she was there with her niece and nephew, to as like inspiration. But even that, the words that were coming out of his mouth were ones of a soldier. That was his life. So every time I saw him doing, the quote unquote heroic things, it was just he was doing his job. He was doing what he knew he was good at. It wasn't a choice for him. It was like, okay, this is what I have to do, so I'm doing it. I definitely saw there probably was some PTSD there. He definitely had the shakes. I mean, it was a prominent moment when he came back, out there, this alien flying craft. He, after he does that stuff, because he didn't know what was going to happen. He had a hunch. So okay, they're tracking us through our radio signal. We're sitting ducks out here in this bus because they've got aircraft. They come through, we're going to die. Okay, I got to make a decision. I'm going to go out here and I'm going to do this. He does that. The gas station blows up and you see, the debris kind of fly at him. But then he survives that and he gets back to the bus, and yeah, he's shaking up about it. But even after that, he goes to the back and he's like, oh yeah, I'm fine. He shakes it off when the civilians are looking at him because he knows, hey, I've got to be a soldier. This is what they're looking for. So that's the only thing that I saw from his character. And, I agree. I do love movies where, they do show that, it is kind of sometimes cliche, especially in American cinema, because we do have kind of this, patriotism thing where, we have the greatest, we like to think we have the greatest, fighting force, in the world. And it may be true. I mean, I'm not really an analyst like that. I mean, we're America and we, survived this long. So, there's probably some truth in that. But definitely our movies do characterize that. And, I do like that. As an American, I can stand behind that. And I do like movies that show characters that are embodying that honor. Because I do shout out to, our service personnel. It's not something I know a lot of people are, if push comes to shove, you do it. I mean, I fired a weapon, but I don't know if I could do that. I don't think I'm built that way. Maybe in life or death situation, sure. But could I really, put on a uniform day in, day out and serve the country that way? That's not me. So I can respect those that do that. And, I also know that comes with some baggage. And this movie showed that it came with some baggage. He was naming off all of those soldiers that died under his command. And, you speak of growth, be lieutenant. He was like, I got this. These are my people. These are my boys. We've been through, boot camp, through all of this stuff together. I got this, top of the class. And he gets out there into the ish, and it's a whole different story.
Yep.
It's not just that. I don't even think it's the aspect of it being aliens. That was a nice backdrop, but it was combat. Yeah. When you get to combat, is a whole different story. And, I think he did eventually rise to the occasion. There was some hesitation there, which is understandable. First combat. I think he did eventually rise to the occasion. He understood what his role was. It was, to lay down his life for his people. That's what he has to do as a leader, and he did that. And there was also growth with the rest of the troops. They originally saw Aaron Arcott, staff sergeant, as someone that maybe perhaps looks out for himself, doesn't really care about the troops they're serving. But then I think throughout they finally realized, oh yeah, he's putting his life on the line because he's a good soldier. And I really enjoyed that. It was a sci-fi-ish movie. Sci-fi movie because you've got the aliens, but I think it was really about someone dealing with trauma, dealing with having to this is their whole life, and it's time for them to move on, but they're not really sure if they really should move on. And then other people dealing with the horrors of war, and coming to the realization that war sucks. But this was definitely, again, I've said it before, I've watched this movie quite a few times. I probably watched it near end of last year. So this was like a refresher. But yeah, definitely an enjoyable movie for me. The executive consultant is your show.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to take us to a commercial. Ladies and gentlemen, find out what we're reviewing next Thursday and find out what we're reviewing on Tuesday when we come back. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Stay with us. You're watching Unpopular Review.
Would you mind taking a look at Bill? Sure, what's wrong? I don't know. He's just not right.
She worries too much. I'm fine.
Is he dead?
David, there's somebody outside.
Military started shooting town folk.
We gotta get out of here, guys!
All's fair in love and basketball.
How about a little one-on-one?
What we playing for?
I score, you strip. Take it off. Take it off.
Strip. All's fair in love and basketball, baby.
I'll play you. One game, one-on-one.
For what?
Your heart.
Segways. I don't do segways. Listen, Private J doesn't have 10 feet of jump in him. I don't have a segue in me.
Listen, sir, I said without a mat. With a mat. Sure,
okay, with the mat you got, With the match, you got it. Okay.
You said earlier when you were talking, Private J, that when you watch romance movies, you cry.
I cry because they never end.
Like a little
Chris doesn't understand. I'm saying I want it to end, but the torture will not, so I cry. Every man breaks.
Thumbs up, thumbs down, and I'll start off because it was my movie, and I'll just tell you, hey, I forgot.
What you got to say?
Are you kidding me? I love this movie. As much as I make fun of what was going on with Two-Face, let me tell you, I thought the action was very well done. I thought the acting was very well done. I thought it was a very very good story that was being told. And I appreciate it. And I think the connections were all good. And it's just a great, wonderful, underrated movie. So it gets a thumbs up for me. Whoever wants to take it next, go ahead.
Rashad, you want to go on this one?
Yeah, I'll jump in on that. Again, I've mentioned before, I've seen this movie multiple times. It's because I do like it. Ever since this movie came out, I've watched it, numerous times. I've always enjoyed the story. The aliens as a backdrop was great. But yeah, I do enjoy the story. I do enjoy the action. The acting was good as well. I mean, I think it was a good representation of probably what would happen. If aliens came, it's like, okay, they're coming, we mobilize, we realize, oh man, they're packing some heat, and then, hopefully we bounce back. I will say that being that this is America, I would have expected, more civilians to be with firearms, but it was LA. I think the regulations for firearms may be a bit more restrictive there. So, if they ever made a sequel to this and it was more, in the Midwest, we probably have a lot more civilians. And maybe that's what the sequel will be. Civilians taking it to the streets because, it's America. We got guns. So you're going to have some civilians, putting up a fight. Whether they're any good, maybe that'll be what the movie's about. Hey, you think you're John, Rambo or whatever, but you're really John Candy. So, but all in all, it's definitely a thumbs up for me. I've loved this movie every time I've watched it, and this was no different.
Battle Los Angeles. I like scary movies because when a person is scared, you see the real them. The fact that they're aliens is just the vehicle through which we get to see these people pushed to their limits, right? In other war films, it's whatever country, if it's an actual country or it's a fictional country, right? But it's so that we can see who these human beings are, or we ourselves in the greater picture see who we ourselves are as American in this context, right? When these characters are pushed to their limits, when we are pushed to our limits, right? Rashad is talking about what would happen if it was in another state. Well, think of The Purge, that series. What happens when we get to be truly Homo sapiens, right? When we're pushed to that limit, when the leash is taken off, so to speak, when humans get to be humans and show our humanity. We've seen that throughout the annals of time. Battle Los Angeles. Let me start with my shout outs as I typically do. Shout out to Johnny Five, the alien in this movie. He did a great job. I haven't seen him since Short Circuit. It's nice to see he's still working. Shout out to him. Shout out to Michelle Rodriguez, who fights ninjas after she gets off of work. Shout out to her. After Wednesday Addams, she was also crushed. You can see that I have a type. It's women who don't smile. Battle Los Angeles, though. This is Chris's pick to close out the 2010s. It started the decade 2010 itself. Starring Aaron, excuse me, I was about to say Aaron Eckhart. I meant Harvey Dent, aka Two-Face.
Get it right.
Strongest knees in Gotham City. After all, you saw Batman wearing the knee brace. You didn't see Harvey Dent wearing it, okay? Chris, do you have that biatch clip lined up? Batman with the knee brace.
Like a little
There you go. Look at that. In the old West, Chris was known as slow on the trigger. But whether it gets a thumbs up or a thumbs down, well, here's my little litmus test. Let's see. What did Chris give my last movie? Oh yeah, he gave it a thumbs up. This movie is gonna get a thumbs up. It's fantastic.
You killed my mom.
Why? Because Chris gave a thumbs up. So he moved that coin. That ninja knew if he didn't move that coin on this double-headed show. I don't care if he picked The Dark Knight itself. It was gonna get a thumbs down. If he picked it, he was gonna get the Mike Knox treatment. Mike, yes, F you too. That's a little 80s Coming to America reference. Mike, I miss you. No, it gets a thumbs up. All joking aside, it had honor. It had everything that a war movie is supposed to have. It showed the PTSD. Yes, it was housed in the science fiction realm of aliens attacking, but it gave us very real depictions of what it's like. And we can only say what we think it's like because we haven't lived it, right? And we lived in all movies vicariously through the characters. You could relate to these characters. They were believable. They grew in a believable way within the confines of the story that they were telling. That is a litmus test that I always stick to, no matter what the genre of the film is. It has to be realistic to the story that's being told, not comparing it to something else. It's not going to be compared to Full Metal Jacket in the sense of where the characters are grown because their story is different. But within the confines of this, and I think it was a movie that didn't get enough praise when it came out, and arguably it still doesn't, but tonight it will, is going to get a thumbs up from me.
Fantastic. Definitely deserved a sequel.
Yeah.
Always a surprise, but it didn't do as well in the theaters as they wanted it to. But he always says he was down to play a sequel. This was one of his favorite movies he's ever been in. So he says. So
in the sequel, because they leaked the I guess they call it a rough draft script. I don't know. But in the sequel, his knees got stronger.
Thank you so much for watching us. Join us on Thursday for the Crazies and book review we do on Fridays with Sia Superior along with Danny and their young friend. And then Love and...
What book are they doing?
I have no idea. Love and WWE is also a review.
So you'll be watching this Friday when they do the book review?
No, Husband and Wife show. And then, but I encourage everybody to watch it because I'm probably not going to read the book that they're doing, sir. That's why. The Husband and Wife show doing the Love and WWE review, and X-Men 97 review is coming very, very soon. So stay out and stay paying attention for that one. For Private J, the next doctor, I am the executive consultant, and we will see you right here next time on Popular Review. Good night, everybody.